Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. Saved us a lot of time to give our own introductions. But Priyan, if you could just take a quick second to talk a little about yourself.
Hi everyone, myself Priyan Garg. I'm currently working as Senior Manager Marketing Communication at Cyril Merchant Mangaldas. And I've been into the marketing field for the last 10 years. I started with LexisNexis India under Vikesh sir himself, who's the organizer of the event also. And after that, I shifted to the law firm sector, basically starting with Kranjawala, then going to DSK Legal, then for a short period of time to Khaitan & Company, and now at Cyril Merchant. So I look after the marketing and the branding of the law firms.
Thank you very much. So the way we'll work this session is we'll go around and I'll have a few questions for you. So if you can just share some thoughts, and then we'll open up to the floor for Q&A session and close it out with some last thoughts. Right. Okay. Excuse me while I'll be looking into my phone from time to time. That's where most of my notes are. And it only serves it right that the moderator over here is not a lawyer herself, but interestingly just chanced upon the profession of brand management, business development in the sector of law back in 2012 after having worked in various industries. And this sector just interested me so much, and the profession itself interested me so much, and the rest is history. So with that as a note, if I can turn to Dr. Singh, and if you can share some thoughts on the importance of specialization within the legal profession, and share some insights into some of the specialized areas of law that may be in high demand.
Yeah, thank you for that question. And I think there are a lot of young students out here. And when we talk about specializations, particularly in the legal field, there are different specializations emerging. But for a young lawyer, I don't think that there is any specialization. You know, you have to begin with everything and whatever comes to you. So if someone thinks in the college days that, okay, I will have this specialization, particularly if they are looking forward to practice, probably they cannot think of that way. However, still you will find that there are a number of specializations which are offered in different law schools, and that actually gives you a direction towards some specialized knowledge. And I am talking about honors programs which are being offered. And traditionally speaking, if you will see the law schools, the focus has been on corporate law. So that is one of the specializations which everyone, you know, looks forward to. Other than that, the specializations which are emerging over the years are international law. We are now talking about international trade and economic law. Now, recently, technology has made a lot of space, and it has brought inroads into each of the professions. And law profession is not left out from that. And that is where the law and technology specialization is emerging as another specialization which is, bringing up. Now, over the years, this corporate specialization has also diversified. Like, for example, if we see, previously, insolvency used to be part of the corporate law. Now that has emerged as a specific domain in itself. And now there is an insolvency practice as a practice which has emerged, and it is now a specialization. So probably some of them may be offering a specialization program in insolvency laws. It is already happening in IICA. They have a graduate insolvency program. So these specializations keep emerging. Another important in dispute resolution, we look for mediation as a specialization which is emerging after this Mediation Act has come up. So these specializations are emerging, and I would suggest that just keep a tap on these specialization and look forward to the future, because my previous boss, Mr. Anurag Goyal, used to always say that you should think forward 5 years on the specialization which will be making a mark in the field. Now, I think I answered that question. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Singh. Now, Harshvardhan, if I may move to you, and if you can discuss what are some of the career paths that are available from being a lawyer alone, but in the legal sector.
Okay, good morning, everyone. And I think this is the question which I face every given day, being the director of admissions at GD Goenka University. A lot of parents come to me, a lot of kids come to me who are either in class 12th or they have done their graduation, or who have just completed their UG program in any of the law schools. that what lies ahead. And I can tell you from my own experiences that I studied PCM plus computers in class 12th, and you know I am from Uttar Pradesh, so the aspiration was clearly that I go to IIT. Yes. Some of you might relate to it. And later to that, my younger brother also had PCM plus computers. Now, when you see into, at least I can speak of these two individuals, which is me and my younger brother. So I went on to National Law University Punjab. He went to National Law University Patna. Right now, he's a civil judge in Uttar Pradesh. Now you will be thinking he's more intelligent than me, right? That's what all my relatives think, yes. So then I started working and I started teaching in law coachings, and then later on, I started teaching in universities, and I'm currently the director of admissions rather. I'm saying directions because it was the right direction to take, I believe now. So 2 career options I have already told you, rather 3. He being a civil judge, I becoming an academician, and then later on some of people might say that I'm a marketeer and as a director of admissions. So these 3 career options I've already told you. Now coming on to the later one, you are all here at Vidhi UTSAV, and if you look into just the speaker's profile, we have academicians in this hall like Professor Dr. Devanshu Srivastav, who works with me, and Professor Singh, who is there with me, that's into academics. We have Priyam, and that's one example I've been stating to a lot of young kids, that he did law. Right now he's managing some content, he's managing something, how the law firm is viewed. Then we have ma'am over here, who is the chief strategy officer. Then we have Pramita. And again, a lot of speakers. You had judges speaking before me. You will have senior advocates, you will have advocates, you will have law firm partners, you will have people from consulting, you will have people from publication, you will have people who are entrepreneurs, and that keeps on increasing. So over the years, we have seen that the law as a career is evolving. Yes, a lot of years back, I had no idea that somebody might earn a good money just by writing research papers or just by doing research. Now when I tell kids that there are some centers for policy, etc., and then when you look at the kind of people they hire, and you at that stage completely know that to hire these kind of people, you need to give a particular band of salary, you understand that this is one of the great career option. Again, a lot of friends went on to join public sector undertakings. A lot of friends have started working, or individuals have started working in different organizations. We have an in-house council at GD Goenka as well. So are at other brands as well. So completely when I talk to you that law as a career is evolving, whatever you see right now, and I always tell, and I will conclude it just by that, wherever if there are human beings, there will be conflict. That's okay. And if there is a conflict, there will be a need of a lawyer. So anything which you see, you will figure it out that the lawyer is needed in that profession. That's it.
Wonderful. Now, Khushboo, moving on to you. You have a vast background in different practices in the legal sector, and not just as a lawyer, but also as in transformations, digital transformations, HR, marketing, strategy, communications. Now, how do you see has the perception of the different profiles in the legal sector changed in the minds of students, young professionals, and what do you think is leading to that in these days?
Hi. Thank you, Pramita. So, I would like to begin with telling a short story, how my interest developed in the practice management side of things, and I'll take it from our speaker in the previous session, who talked about sometimes unplanned discussions give you direction. So once I had the opportunity, I started my career with FICCI, and while I was working there, I had the opportunity to be with Mr. V. Lakshmi Kumaran once in a meeting. And I went up to him and asked, sir, I have done MBA in marketing, and I'm working in FICCI in marketing, communication and policy advocacy. And I'm also pursuing LLB from Delhi University in the evening. Classes, back in those days, there used to be LC2, Law Center 2, where we used to have evening classes. And I said, I am doing the degree because I have got the admission, but it is not really something I like. What else I can do in a law firm, which is not a lawyer's job? Then he said to me, Khushboo, there are a lot of farmers in the firms who are good at executing the work of a lawyer, but there are very few hunters who can bring business, and all of us are serving the same food to the companies, corporates and people. There is not much distinction. So what law firms need is more of farmers who can bring business. So that is something you can look into. And then that was my starting point where I thought that I have to get into law practice management side of things. That is how I started my
First
career.
thing, Frankfurter's famous advice to a law student,
I got
so
into
that you come up to. He was a great writer.
When
He
I
wrote
see,
books on.
in the last 10
And
years,
Tennyson,
the role of
but
practice
for
professionals.
Mullah, I say that I am delighted
When I joined,
that you are really now embarking on something which needs to be done for the Indian public.
Look up to us as कि तुम लोग करते क्या हो? But today, when you are wanting to join a firm, how many of you want to work with a brand? Raise your hand. Do you want to work with a brand, a firm which is well known, a lawyer which is well known, they have a good website, and you get to learn from them. So that is where our role comes in. So we do everything from the brand building of the managing partner of the firm to coach them on how to speak in public, the presentation that they are making, identifying the right speaking opportunities for them, and ensuring that when a partner is going for a BD meeting, they have the right content available with them. And it does not just end here. We are also involved in knowledge management work when we are setting up systems and processes so that once one business development meeting happens, it is followed through and that company converts into a client. What all we do? We manage all the follow-up communications with them. We ensure that they stay in touch with the firm they are in, and there is a lot more that goes behind the scenes. So in my career, I have worked on bringing all the finance, HR, business development, marketing department related work into a single software. That is where my interest on the tech side of things developed. So where my MBA helped me in doing that, and the law degree helped me in speaking to lawyers in the language they like, in the language they understand. So I won't say that doing an LLB was a waste of my time, no, because when you are speaking to a client, when you go for a business meeting, my MBA taught me that I have to speak in the language that the client understands. When I joined a law firm, internal lawyers, partners in the firms, associates were my client. So I was able to convince them, get things done from them, because I can speak to them in their language that they understand. So it is very, I was able to connect the dots and move forward in my practice management career. So, and today I see a lot of students write to me on LinkedIn that they want to do internship in practice management because business karna aap seekh loge, execute karna, client contracts. What will take you ahead in career, 5-10 years after 5-10 years of your practices, can you bring business for the firm or the organization that you are working for?
So in the language of the young kids of today, we are the nerds who make the superheroes look good. All right. So Priyan, over to you as a brand and marketing specialist in one of the top tier law firms of India. What would you recommend students and young lawyers to focus on if they wish to pursue an alternate career in the legal sector? Also, do you recommend any specific kind of courses beyond the legal sector, beyond law, like strategy, HR, marketing, recruitment, MBA, etc.?
Thank you, Pramita. So, majorly about alternative career side in the field of law, Khushboo has covered it very well as such, all the points. But if a 4th or a 5th year student, law student, wishes to shift towards the alternative side of law, it's very important to be entrepreneurial in nature firstly. It's very important to come out of your introvert side and start meeting people, start talking to people, start engaging with people, to remove that hesitancy from oneself that will it take me somewhere or not somewhere. Until unless you experiment, you won't be able to take that jump ahead as such. Speaking about myself, I did my own SWOT analysis in the 4th year. I saw my strengths, I saw my weaknesses, And basis my strengths, I saw what are the opportunities in the market and what are the threats, basically, which prevail in the market. I'm talking about 2014, where no one used to speak about marketing in law firms, no one used to speak about branding in law firms. It was mainly that either you join a law firm for disputes practice or a corporate practice. There was nothing as a third front in a law firm. I was very fortunate enough to meet a great person like Vikesh Dhyani, who taught me basically that what can marketing do and what does it take to be an entrepreneur as such. The first thing is that you have to be an entrepreneur. The second thing is how strong is your LinkedIn. It's very important the moment you're in law college to invest heavily on your LinkedIn. What kind of content are you sharing? What kind of people are you engaging with? And what is the tonality when you're reaching out to people? Are you being forceful? Are you being gentle? Do you have done your homework basically before you're reaching out to someone? Till date, there are few people basically who simply bombard messages to different people. And when they message me also, either they mismatch the name or they mismatch the name of the law firm also. Most of the time it happens because they are under pressure to reach out to 100 people. Earlier they used to bombard it on the mails by sending the CVs to different HRs. Now what students are doing is they are reaching out to people on LinkedIn. But please understand, the first impression is the last impression. So make sure that when you're reaching out to anyone on LinkedIn, the message should be crisp with your past experience, what did you want to do with that law firm, and what is your interest area as such. So second important point is how strong is your LinkedIn. The third thing is basically your internships. Whenever you're interning at a place, make an impact. There's no need to work with 10, 15 different people. Intern with one person, irrespective you are interning in the practice management group or the legal side of it. Always hold on to your strengths and make an impact. You don't need 10 tasks to make an impact in a law firm. If you do one task also diligently, your senior will notice it. The fourth point is going out of that law college, basically, meeting different people, attending legal events like these, Delhi, Bombay, metro cities, or these days tier 2 cities also keep hosting events. Basically volunteer at such events, attend events, make your presence being seen. If you're attending event, click photos at that event, post it on your social media, show it to people that you're going for events, carry any literature with yourself. In my time, in 2014, I used to carry my own visiting card as a law student. I had my own visiting cards made that I'm a law student at Amity Law School, Noida. And I used to share it with everyone I was meeting in a legal event, because any material you share with a person, that always retains in the mind of that person. Because if he's meeting 10, 15 different law students, and one law student is sharing the visiting card, that makes an impact. For that matter, if you are hosting an event at your college also, and a lot of dignitaries are coming, a lot of judges are coming, law firm people are coming, make sure either you click photos with them or you take their email IDs, and right after the event, write a line to them that what you like about the event, what did they speak about, and there should be a connection bond every time with a person, basically. So I'll say to be, if you're interested in the alternative side, career side of legal field, first be an entrepreneur. Second, have a strong LinkedIn. Third, when you're interning at a place, make an impact at that place. The fourth point is start attending events. Fifth point, the most important point in these days is being technologically advanced. A lot of law firms these days are going AI. A lot of law firms have their own inbuilt tools. Like for example, CAM has a product called Praram, where basically they help different incubators. It's like an incubator where they help different startups seed fund them and basically how to take them forward. At Khaitan also, they had a CTO, Chief Technology Officer. So a lot of law firms these days are being very technologically rich. They're shifting to AI models, they are shifting to technology. So keep reading more about it. There's a lot of information available out there on Google, on LinkedIn, that what different law firms are doing as such. So mainly these are the broader points that one should know about.
Thank you so much, Priyan. Actually, you summed it up very well. And yeah, young professionals and students, if you're reaching out and looking for, not just in, if you're reaching out to any prospective employer, internship or full-time, please do your research and reach out in a constructive manner, not just find my resume attached, see if it fits. That is going to filter you out right away. All right, so Dr. Singh, if I may come back to you, and if you can just shed some light on how important is it to obtain internships, practical experiences, clerkships for young students who are looking into coming into the job market?
Yeah, indeed. Thank you, Priyan, for that, LinkedIn, update. And completely endorse what you said. Because you have to start building your profile when you enter the law school. It is not that you will be able to do it towards the end. 5 years is a very long period, and you have to create a, timeline for you in these 5 years. I remember when I used to do my law, at that point in time, we didn't had social media. So it was like, I remember there used to be a, social media called Orkut, which is no more now. And we had Yahoo Mail, that was the first thing. But now you have multiple platforms, including Instagram and many other things. And what do you put there? That is something which you have to build up as per your own, timeline which you have decided for your CV. How you are going ahead, what area you want to, practice or you want to become after 5 years. That goal has to be set in the initial semester itself. And towards that, you keep working on different dimensions. There are a couple of things which should be there on your CV, which I feel, because the recruiters are looking for it. Whether you are having a hobby and whether you are nurturing that hobby, it can be anything. It can be painting, it can be reading books, it can be, nowadays there are multiple kinds of hobbies students have. You should nurture it. That is very, very important, because that gives you a space to speak. Second, you should have something good writing, and that comes by way of writing a paper in a conference journal or maybe in a journal. You should be actively involved in your academics. Definitely, yes. That is something which is, natural, because you have to clear your papers to move into the semesters. But other than that, you should be active in extracurricular activities of your university. It is very important to participate in moot courts, participate in different other competitions. Nowadays, I have seen a trend of writing books. So you can even write a book for yourself. Now kids are writing books. I went to a book exhibition and found that a 5-year-old kid is writing a book. Maybe 5 years is too small, probably 8 years you can say. So this is something which is now picking up. So you have to decide what you will be doing in all these 5 years, and have a timeline charted out for you and celebrate these particular moments. And definitely connection plays a very, very important role. I would say throughout the law journey, you study about 60, 70 subjects. You cannot be master of each of these subjects. Identify at least 4 or 5 subjects for which you know everything about it, so that all the students in your college come to you to understand that particular subject, okay? So if that is the USP you are building up, probably that is going to help you choose your career also, because those are the 5 areas from which you will be choosing your career, where you want to go, what you want to do in that particular field. So these are some of the points which I would suggest the youngsters to keep in mind, and have all these skills on your CV. Upgrading yourself is also very important. Nowadays, understanding data has become very, very important. Now, many of us don't know how to operate Excel, but you would require this to calculate your fees which you will be earning later, right? Or you're doing your budgeting or your financial planning of your home. That is very, very much essential. Or you want to understand, now elections are around the corner. You want to assess the government, how it has performed, or what are the financials of the country, or how the budget has also happened, how that is affecting the life of people. These are all basic things which we should know, but somehow I find while I interact with youngsters that they are not very much into this data visualization, data analytics. Probably that is going to be a very in thing for you all in future, so you should be a bit aware about it. What is AI? What is artificial intelligence? These basics should be very, very clear to you, in the developing legal field. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Singh. And couldn't agree more with you as well as Priyan on setting that stage. And I remember one of the law firms that I was engaged with, if you had a background of, if you had an interest and a heavy practice in the cricket space, it got you your foot in through the door. So it's always a good conversation starter depending on the kind of extracurricular activities, the interests that you have. It just your academia background, only your academia background is only going to take you so far.
And see, in networking, what happens is what you will speak with a new person if you don't know about the person. Like, say, for example, let us take an example that Justice Shakdar is here and you get a time to speak to him. Now, what do you speak to him? Because he is so senior and everything. Probably you can talk about a judgment which he has beautifully written, provided you have read that particular judgment, and do that particular homework before you go and meet. So this homework helps you, basically. So that is very, very important in terms of networking. And I always say, networking is very important for our profession. Yeah.
Agreed. So Harshvardhan, if I may come back to you, what do you think today's universities in terms of career placements, career placement offices are doing differently when it comes to career guidance and finding unique opportunities for their students that fits their personality, interests, and of course what they specialize in?
Okay, now this comes to the second part. I deal with admissions, and this is the second question which I've been always asked, that in today's times when you look into so much of economics being involved and people thinking of everything in terms of money or value, most of the times some of the individuals have thought that education should have an ROI, and they manage and they calculate ROI in terms of what will be the package. Yes, so that's how it starts. If I go to this college or if I do this program, kitna salary aayega? Yes, that's the first question. Yes, parents or everybody, even when I was young and still I am. Yes, so in terms when I was just trying to write common law admission test, that's the thing which I told my parents. I said to them that if you allow me to write CLAT, and if I went to National Law University, minimum 16 lakh rupees to pakka hai. Okay? That's how I convinced them to spend 4,000 rupees on that entrance examination form. Yes. Now that being said, the question which ma'am has asked is that what we look for and how we try to help students. So I think that there is a journal article dated January 6, 2022 on Harvard Business Review of what I wish I had known before becoming a lawyer. And there it was mentioned that these things, if I had known, I would have done better. And at GD Goenka School of Law, again, you will see like I'm repeating the name because I know what we are doing, yes. So we have an office of career services, we have people, we have different set of people who just work and they just see that what kind of internship opportunities are available, what kind of placement opportunities are available. And I must tell you that the biggest differentiator is that this year in our LLM program, and you understand LLM program is 1 year at most of the private law schools, including JD Goenka School of Law, where we have 8 specialization to offer. Now that being said, we placed LLM students. They just joined in 4 months back and they got placed in January. Now this is now becoming a better question. Yes, how do you do it? Yes. So just because you have a dedicated team towards this cause, you have faculties, you provide each student with faculty mentors. I think that's where it starts with. Know your candidate. Like if you apply to any company which will help you with a job placement, they have to know you. So as the law school has to know the candidate they want to place with. So it has to start with, not like in terms of government or CIA, we have a dossier on every candidate, yes, what they are doing throughout the year, from first year, second year, third year, and again, what kind of internship they have done, what kind of internship they are looking at. And that is where you help these candidates. If somebody wants to do something, we will help them out. Recently, we started with our judicial training center on campus so that it saves times for most of these candidates who usually travel to Delhi and spend the time. Again, now me along with Professor Srivastav are also working on starting UGC NET coaching center within our campus. And again, this is all free. Yes, now you will say the fees is for that matter. Yes, it's true. Yes. Now that being said, these are the way you help candidates. You identify what they want to do. Now, in my previous answer, which I was telling you, there are so many alternate career options. When I see Priyan doing something which I never thought of, that this is also an alternate career option, yes? Or when I see a lot of people doing a lot of things which was never an option. So it gives you that idea that we know a little only. Now, what Professor Singh mentioned, that artificial intelligence in law, and I must tell you there's a standing committee report on the future of legal education. A new set of laws have been mentioned there that you must know about you must know about medicine law, you must know about this law, that law. Yes, so again, these areas will evolve. And as a law school, and as somebody who has taken that responsibility of these candidates, so we must understand that how we will bridge this gap. Pramita, and again, just in last 1 minute, I want to say that to do so, it's very, very important that these kids also get that opportunity to learn these ever-developing laws. So we keep on having some regular visits by people who are working in some of these incoming domains. They come on campus, speak to the candidate. In last 6 months only, we have three former judges of the Supreme Court on campus and lot of partners, senior partners. That's one way. But again, giving them that one-on-one experience, what Dr. Singh was stating, that networking opportunity. So that helps them in that cause. And again, for everyone, it's like सफर में धूप तो होगी, चल सको तो चलो, सभी हैं भीड़ में निकल सको तो चलो. So for everybody is the same road. A lot of law students are there out there. The opportunities are limited. What do you do different? Makes a sense. And last thing, Pramita started with that she has not done the law. I will suggest that, I will say that she still can do law. Yes. Thank you so much.
Every 2 years I consider it. All right, Khushboo, coming to you, how do you think can law schools improve on preparing their students for the alternate careers that's there in the legal industry?
Here also, while answering this question, I would like to talk about my personal experience that while studying law only, I realized that ye to nahi karna. I'm sure maybe I'm resonating with some people in this room who don't want to become a lawyer per se. So that is when I moved to the other side, and now after spending 10 years there, I feel that even as a lawyer, there are alternate skills that you must think about developing in yourselves and on your CV to excel in your role and to stand out from the rest. One is what Priyan said about personal branding, that you need to have an impressive profile on social media. So you need to learn the basics of digital marketing. It is okay that you can write a good article, but making sure that it comes in Google search results is a skill that you all need to learn. At times when we are receiving articles from our lawyers in organization, they give us the content and then we go back to them and tell them, iska title chota karke do, this is 20 words, it will not give you good results in Google search. Then they argue, no, I have written the law point here. Then we tell them, it will not work, write something which people will search when they are searching the content on LinkedIn. So what is the point of writing when it cannot come in Google search? So SEO is a skill that you can learn. There are so many videos available on YouTube. You should know how to write content. Then the other skill that I want to talk about is that we should all become tech friendly now. There is no point in resisting tech. COVID was a time when all of us got to know virtual hearings can happen. PDF can be shown on screen. Then bookmarking was something everybody was learning in all the firms. We also conducted a training for our clerks and paralegals so that they can assist the partners when they are appearing in virtual hearings. But it is much beyond that. There is so much of automation happening. There is so much of AI in the firms we are talking about. Using AI is another skill. You have to give the right prompt. A computer can only help you. A machine can only learn if you're asking the right questions. So this is something we all must invest in learning. We have to understand design thinking. And here I would like to say that 10, 15 years down the line, when 5-year integrated BBA, LLBs and all these things started, the idea behind that was that because lawyers are dealing with business people, so they need to understand basics of management. That is why BBA, LLB course is a requirement. Today I would say that we need to have BTech LLBs, so that students can understand how information systems work, how data analytics work, how does coding works, so that tomorrow when you are designing systems, when you are in a law firm and maybe you have to bring in tech, which you have to deal, which you will, either you will bring in or you will be using it. It might take 2 years, 3 years in some progressive firms. It might take 5, 7 years, but there is no escape from that. So being tech savvy, learning data analytics, Excel, understanding the design thinking, that how different departments in a firm or a company work together. So these are some things I think all of us should keep learning about.
Thank you so much, Khushboo. Priyan, actually building on to Khushboo's question, can you just summarize, and even if you can pinpoint, what could be the specific aspects of tech, and if one has to consider other additional qualifications beyond law, what should students or even young professionals be looking at to upskill themselves?
See, when you talk about upskilling in any field as such, it always starts with you need to be a people's people. You need to speak with people, you need to engage with people, you need to meet different people. The best way to upskill yourself is to engage with more people, to learn from their experiences, what they are doing, to ask them different questions, basically to ask them specific questions as such. Because what we learn from human to human as such, we can't learn from any other place. And once you get that basic knowledge that what is your peers doing, so it's good to be competitive, it's good to basically learn from others, it's also good to learn from others' failures also. So always talk to people, see basically what they did, how did they gauge something out of it, what did they lose out of it, basically. So that's the first thing. The next is your personal research, your personal market study. As Professor said, that data crunching is very important. Data is very important. Going to different websites, there are a number of free websites available. There's Coursera, there's N number of websites, basically. If you're into marketing and such, basically, try approaching the marketing department on LinkedIn directly. Because law firms as such, we may say that marketing in law firms is increasing to a different level, but they're still blindsided about hiring more interns into that field. Like if you apply to a law firm, I'm pretty much sure that 99% times you'll be applying for a different vertical, like capital markets, competition, M&A, disputes as such. There are very few applications which come that we want to work with a marketing team. So it's very important when you work with a team, basically, you learn from the A0s, A1s, associates, senior associates, that what did they do in their 4th and 5th year. These days, a lot of online courses have started, like Law Seeker, Law Octopus, or different courses as such, and law students go for them also. Like they will be doing a certificate course in a different kind of field. But it's very important to do the market study also before that, are these courses accepted in a law firm or not? If I'm sitting in an interview in front of a partner and he asks me that what experience do you have in M&A as such, I can tell him that I have a particular certificate course from a different organization that's as good as taking tuitions in +1 and +2 for PCM as such. So do your market study, read about the different deal making and everything like that. So you should need to have your own knowledge also, and by upskilling basically, you know what others don't know as such. Because let's face it, when we sit for an interview, there are 100 different candidates and then only one candidate will be picked. So for example, taking me as an example, I was working very comfortably in a firm like DSK. I was on the growth path and everything, but COVID came and I decided to upskill myself. I enrolled with IIM Lucknow as such to learn about strategy. It was not needed at that moment for any of my promotions or any other such thing. I had time, I needed to utilize it, so I went for my upskilling. And it's mainly about your own research. No one will tell you about it, that okay, at this stage you go for this or that. My boss at that time, she did her MBA from Harvard Business School at 40 years of age, basically. For that matter, Vikesh is not present here, but because I used to work under him, I remember he did his MBA from IIM Ahmedabad when he was 44, 45 years of age as such. So there's no age limit to when you can upskill yourself. It's all about basically what you see in the market, what gaps do you see in yourself. As I said in my previous answer also, it's very important to do your SWOT analysis every single year. What I was doing 10 years back, I'm not doing it today. You need to keep upskilling yourself. If I'm stuck to what I was doing 10 years back, I'll become redundant. Because the youth today, the Gen Z today as we say it, is so active on social media, is so much engaging into different content that they are way ahead of us in terms of sharp thinking, in terms of decision making as such, and in terms of basically knowing the pulse of the market, which we were not aware about. Like in 2017, when I interviewed Mr. Rani Karanjawala at Karanjawala, the first question he asked me, what will you do for me in this field? And I had no answer to it. So best I could show him screenshots of different tier 1 law firms at that point of time, that these are the law firms which are doing this, and I want to do this. Had I not been stalking all these LinkedIn profiles of different people and not upskilling myself that what is BD, what is profile management, what is submissions, what is media PR as such, I wouldn't have been able to answer him that question. Because at that time, even few people were not aware about it. Like until 2019, I was asked by different people, what do you do in this law firm? And it's very important to talk about yourself. It's very important. Like people may say, be humble, don't talk much, what you do, don't seek validation and all that. But I'll say when you're in the marketing field, you need to talk about yourself. You need to become the source of knowledge for everyone. Because you're your own brand ambassador. No one will endorse you as such in this market. So the more you speak about yourself, the more literature you give out, the more you will be perceived as a knowledge expert in that field. Obviously, you can have substance also to back it as such. So I'll say that there is no set answer to upskill yourself. It's just basically a ecosystem you make after doing your SWOT analysis, and you talk to people, be a people's people, network as much as you can, attend different events, go to different universities. Also, it's very important to be in touch with everyone in the market. Like till date, I maintain touch with 4th and 5th year law students also. I maintain touch with people who are 10 years elder to me also. It's very important to know that what the Gen Z is doing. It's very important to know what your seniors are doing. Because you might be as active as you are on your social media, on LinkedIn and everything, but you can't be a master of everything. So even if you don't know something, but a young student is also telling you something about it, always entertain that, basically. Like I make it a point at my present law firm also to talk to different interns during lunch and all that what is happening in the market, what is happening in the law colleges. So this is basically a few points that you can.
Thank you, Priyam. And I agree, you have to be your biggest marketeer. No one else would market you as well as you can do. So on this note, I would actually open the floor for some Q&As. Do we have microphones available in the audience? And if the audience who has some questions can put their hands up.
सभी लोगों को नमस्कार। सबसे पहले शुक्रिया कि ऑर्गेनाइज़र्स का जिन्होंने ये इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइज़ किया है। इस तरह की बातचीत लोगों को हेल्प करती है, बच्चों को हेल्प करती है सीखने में। मेरा नाम शुभम है, मैं माइमीनिया फाउंडेशन से आता हूँ। मेरा सवाल है, यहाँ पे हम बात कर रहे हैं बच्चों के भविष्य के बारे में, करियर के बारे में। हम जो सेवाएँ देते हैं, जो सर्विसेज देते हैं, वो गाँव देहात और स्लम्स में देते हैं। ज़्यादातर जो हमारी झुग्गी झोपड़ी एरिया होते हैं वहाँ पर हम देते हैं। जब हम बच्चों से बात करते हैं, बेटा क्या बनोगे, क्या करोगे, तो बहुत सारे चीज़ें निकल के आती है। फ़ौजी बनेंगे, पुलिस में जाएंगे, कई चीज़ें करेंगे। पर हम बच्चों के मुंह से बहुत कम सुनते हैं, या अभी तक हमने नहीं सुना कि मैं वकील बनूंगा जी, मैं कानून में जाना चाहता हूँ, मैं कानून के बारे में सीखूंगा या समझूंगा। तो ये किस तरह हम बच्चों के अंदर ये प्रेरणा लाएँ, या बच्चों को किस तरह हम ये समझाएँ। और उनका बैकग्राउंड भी कई बार उनको अलाउ नहीं करता है। तो क्या ऐसे ऑप्शन हो सकते हैं जो गरीब परिवेश के बच्चे हैं, ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में हैं या स्लम्स में हैं, उन बच्चों के लिए हमारे देश में आप लोग सभी लोग और भी यहाँ जो हैं कानून से जुड़े हुए लोग हैं, तो क्या ऐसा हो सकता है कि बच्चा 12वीं पास हो रहा है और हम साइकोलॉजिकली उनको चेक करते हैं, हमारी सेवाएं मनोवैज्ञानिक होती हैं। अगर वो बच्चा हमको दिखता है कि इसका जो रुझान है वो लॉ की तरफ जा सकता है या बच्चा कर सकता है, तो क्या ऐसे ऑप्शन हो सकते हैं जिनमें बच्चे को हम बताएं या किससे हम कनेक्ट करवाएं? ऐसी कौन सी जगहें इंडिया में हैं जहां बच्चा जाए या हम उनके पेरेंट्स को लेके जाएं और बच्चे को कुछ राह मिले और वो आगे बढ़े? ये मेरा सवाल है।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपके सवाल के लिए। कदाचित ये एक ऐसा सवाल है जिससे हम सभी प्रेरित हो सकते हैं कि आप कुछ करना चाह रहे हैं उन बच्चों के लिए जिनके पास वो आर्थिक शक्ति नहीं है। इस कारणवश शायद वो विधि की शिक्षा नहीं प्राप्त कर पा रहे हैं। अब अगर हम इसको देखने की कोशिश करें तो मैं अगेन दोबारा मैं कुछ आपको एग्जाम्पल्स दूंगा, उदाहरण दूंगा, जिसमें से एक प्रमुख रहेगा कि हम अपने विश्वविद्यालय में ऐसा क्या कर सकते हैं। तो हमारे विश्वविद्यालय में ऐसे कई सारे छात्र एवं छात्राएं हैं जिनकी शिक्षा पूरी तरीके से मतलब फ्री है, मतलब मुफ्त में शिक्षा वो लोग प्राप्त कर रहे हैं। बट अगेन उसका बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट जो उसकी एसेंशियल क्राइटेरिया है वो यही है कि बच्चा थोड़ा सा मेरिटोरियस होना चाहिए, ठीक है। एक उसके अंदर जो सबसे पहली चीज़ है वो है विधि की शिक्षा प्राप्त करने की ललक होनी चाहिए। नाउ इसके अलावा जो आप पूछ रहे हैं कि और कैसे क्या कर सकते हैं, तो मैं आपको बताऊंगा भारत नवोदय अभियान एक है, वो चल रहा है, आप उसके बारे में पढ़ सकते हैं। मैं उसके साथ जुड़ा हुआ हूँ। मैं साल में अपने कुछ दिनों, जिस दिन मेरा ऑफिस बंद होता है, जो कि कभी शायद नहीं भी होता है, तो मैं जाता हूँ उनके पास नवोदय विद्यालय में पढ़ाने के लिए। और वहाँ के बच्चों को आप देखेंगे वो पूरी शिक्षा फ्री में उनको दी जा रही है और विधि की शिक्षा फ्री में दी जा रही है। मैं कुछ दिनों पहले ही दिल्ली में था उनका इंटरव्यू लेने के लिए, सिलेक्शन क्राइटेरिया के लिए। तो अगर आप वो देखें कि जो ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों से जो जुड़े हुए बच्चे हैं शुभम, उनमें से बहुत सारे बच्चे ऐसे हैं जो नवोदय विद्यालय जाना चाहते हैं, ये आपको और मुझे पता है, ठीक है। और ये उनकी एस्पिरेशन का भी हिस्सा है। नाउ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लाइक दिस, भारत नवोदय अभियान, ये कुछ अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं। अगर मैं आपको बताऊं, लॉ एंट्रेंस एग्जामिनेशन कोचिंग के सेगमेंट में, ठीक है, जो आपको इनकी एंट्रेंस एग्जामिनेशन की तैयारी कराते हैं, उसमें से बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं। अगर आप उन्हें बताएं कि ऐसी कोई असुविधा कोई छात्र छात्राएं फेस कर रहा है तो उसको हेल्प करना चाहेंगे। तो आप यहाँ पे जाकर, जहाँ आपने स्टार्ट किया, मैं जस्ट 30 सेकंड्स में क्लोज करूंगा, कि आप जब स्लम्स में जा रहे हैं या जब आप जा रहे हैं कि आप देख रहे हैं कि विधि की शिक्षा प्राप्त करने की उनके अंदर ललक नहीं है, ठीक है, तो अब इसका यही है कि हम उनको जब एग्जाम्पल देंगे, एक उदाहरण देंगे, तो शायद चीज़ें निखर के आती हैं कि भैया आप ये समझिए कि एक ऐसा इंसान था जिसने, जो गांव में रहता था, गांव में पला बढ़ा, उसने विधि की शिक्षा प्राप्त की। अब आप देखिए उसकी फैमिली में क्या चेंजेस आए। हमेशा क्या होता है, किसी भी चीज़ को जब आपको इंस्पायर करना हो, लोगों को मोटिवेट करना हो, लोगों को, ठीक है, तो एक उदाहरण की आवश्यकता पड़ती है, ठीक है। तो वक्त रहता नहीं, कहीं टिक्कर इसकी आदत भी आदमी सी है, यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन दिस टू देम, है ना। तो और अगर आपको कोई और सहायता चाहिए हो, मैं यहाँ पे उपस्थित हूँ अगले कुछ घंटों के लिए, और मेरे साथ प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर देवांशु श्रीवास्तव भी हैं। अगर आपके पास कुछ ऐसे छात्र एवं छात्राएं हैं जिनको हमसे बात करने की आवश्यकता पड़ सकती है, वी आर ओपन। सैटरडे है, कल संडे है, हम पूरी तरीके से बात करेंगे और जो भी सहायता कर सकते हैं करेंगे।
Absolutely lovely. So,
welcome to all. It is a very outstanding achievements, events, we can say. So we are all very thankful to the organizers. I am S.S. Yadav, advocate, working in Indian Railways. My question is what we can do after our doing relevant services, say 60 years, 50 years. After that, what is the role of legal education? And what is the percentage of legal education in IAS and PCS? If you have any data, if you have any percentage, so that is the right way, that if you are a legalized person, the decision making excellence is better. So my question is about this the post-retirement employees, what is the future of that, and the ratio of IAS and PCS services. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that question, and thank you, Harsh, for answering the question on the rural students, because I myself come from a rural background, and I can understand आपने जो प्रश्न पूछा और जो प्रॉब्लम्स फेस करते हैं रूरल बच्चे, उनको रोल मॉडल की ज़रूरत होती है। वो इसलिए लॉयर नहीं बोलते हैं क्योंकि वो अपने डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट में लॉयर्स को देख रहे होते हैं, उनकी स्थिति कि क्या स्थिति है, इसलिए वो लॉयर नहीं बनना चाहते हैं। वो पुलिस बनना चाहते हैं जिसके पास पावर है, वो बड़ा कोई IAS बनना चाहते हैं जिसके पास लाल बत्ती है। ये एस्पिरेशंस होती हैं रूरल एरिया में। इन एस्पिरेशंस को मैप करना, उन्हें बताना कि नहीं आपके पास में और ऑल्टरनेटिव ऑप्शंस हैं, ये कार्य बेसिकली उन सब स्कूल्स का होना चाहिए। और इसमें डेफिनेटली यूनिवर्सिटीज़ की मदद होनी चाहिए, जो उस लोकल एरियाज़ में यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हैं वो उसको सर्व करना चाहिए। और कुछ हद तक ये हो भी रहा है, अगर आप देखेंगे प्रो बोनो क्लब इनिशिएटिव्स के थ्रू, जो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ लॉ एंड जस्टिस ने शुरू किया है, उसके थ्रू हो रहा है। अलग अलग लॉ कॉलेजेस में लीगल एड सेल होते हैं जो कि वो जाके बच्चों को बताते हैं, इसके थ्रू हो रहा है. बट स्किल बिल्डिंग पे अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि आप क्या करेंगे भविष्य में, इन बच्चों को शुरू से बताना बहुत ज़रूरी है. क्योंकि मैं जब इंटरेक्ट करता हूँ 12वीं के बच्चों से, बहुत कॉलेजेस में जाते हैं, स्कूल्स में जाते हैं, हम लोग प्रो बोनो एक्टिविटीज़ करते हैं, तो उनको ये जानकारी नहीं होती है कि उन्हें करना क्या है. इनफैक्ट आफ्टर टेकिंग एडमिशंस ऑल्सो दे आर नॉट क्लियर कि आफ्टर 5 साल के बाद में वो क्या करेंगे. तो ये चीज़ बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है लोगों को अपना स्किल सेट बिल्ड करने के लिए, जानना कि क्या करना चाहिए. एक हद तक ये चीज़ एप्लीकेबल होती है सीनियर्स के लिए भी. बहुत सारे लोग लॉ इसलिए करते हैं कि चलो कुछ और नहीं होगा तो कम से कम लॉ की एक डिग्री होगी, तो कम से कम बैठने की एक जगह होगी. आई डिड माई लॉ फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर थॉट. मैं बीएससी हूं, आई डिड माई बीएससी. मैं एमएससी करना चाहता था लेकिन एमएससी नहीं कर पाया कुछ कारणवश, तो मैंने सोचा कि लॉ कर लेते हैं और क्या हो सकता है. एंड वी स्टार्टेड. It was only after the first semester I developed interest into this particular field, and I thought that no, this is the field I want to work. So this mapping and understanding is very, very important. जहां तक डेटा का सवाल है, वो डेटा हमारे पास नहीं है. I don't know if somebody has, they can share. But मेरा ये मानना है कि हर सिटीजन, हर नागरिक को कानून की जानकारी होनी चाहिए, जो बेसिक कानून की जानकारी है. और मैं 9वीं कक्षा की पॉलिटिकल साइंस पढ़ रहा था. 8वीं, 9वीं, 10वीं, 11वीं और 12वीं में जो सिविक्स और पॉलिटिकल साइंस का सब्जेक्ट है, अगर वो सही ढंग से हर नागरिक पढ़े तो मेरे हिसाब से उसको इतनी जानकारी होगी कि कानून क्या है और कानून कैसे फंक्शन करता है. ये जानकारी हर एक सिटीजन को होनी चाहिए. ना सिर्फ फंडामेंटल राइट्स, बट अपने फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज के बारे में भी जानकारी लोगों को होनी चाहिए. और ये सिर्फ दिनों के लिए नहीं निर्धारित होना चाहिए कि इस दिन जो है हम फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज के बारे में बात करेंगे, उसके बाद फिर हम भूल जाएंगे कि फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज क्या है. जहां तक ऑल्टरनेट कैरियर्स का सवाल है, डेफिनेटली लॉ कैन बी अ गुड ऑल्टरनेट कैरियर फॉर गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट्स. और आप देख भी रहे होंगे कि है, पर्टिकुलरली आर्बिट्रेशंस, मीडिएशंस, community service, you can NGOs, all these particular field require a legal understanding, and that can be helpful to the retired persons, and they are doing that. I have seen a number of, because I was a SEBI financial literacy resource persons once upon a time, and I found that many of the retired persons are helping that. They are doing it. Lok adalats they are associated with. In the villages they are associated with. Ministry of Law and Justice has come up with a new scheme that is called Tele-Law. So that is a scheme which helps or provides consultation to the poor villages over the phone. They can act on that particular area also. So these are the alternatives which can be possible. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we are now running out of time, but our panelists are going to be available at least for the next few hours through the day. So please get the opportunity, if you get the opportunity to connect with them, do so on the sidelines. On that note, thank you so much, panelists, for that very interesting discussion. And I hope we get to discuss that more as we go along. Over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think we can have another huge round of applause without the less energy that's there, yeah, for all the panelists out there. And I think, ma'am, to accurately, three major takebacks for me would be that network is net worth. Branding is what people say about you when you're not in the room. And I think pro bono is a reality, getting to see even person from the audience and the amount of commentary that has been offered here. Before the panelists move away, I'd like to call on Shirish to present the panelists with the memento. Shirish, if you could please. And I'd also request the panelists to please stay for a group photo.
Yeah, that's you. Thank you. That's Pramita. Thank you. is me. Thank you. There you go, Khushboo. You too get it. Thanks. Thank you so much for this invigorating session.
Thank you, everyone. That was lovely. Okay, also we have a little surprise for you as the panelists move down. So there is a little lucky draw that's been going on for this particular event, right? So you'll be selecting a bunch of lucky winners. All you have to do is you have to take a picture either with the dice or with anything around with respect to the event and tag us on your social media handles. And at the end of the day, I think lucky winners will be announced. So, and we'll approach you, we'll share the contacts and everything, and we'll approach you soon. And apart from that, there is an exhibition in Hall 2. So this is Hall 1, that's Hall 2, and then there is Hall 3. There is an exhibition going on in Hall 2 wherein books and other videos and everything graphic related is running. So if you guys want to visit the exhibition, you can also do that. And we have another panel discussion coming up for you. And I hope all the guests are ready. This panel discussion, like we were discussing about branding a lot, you know, branding in its essence basically does make the difference. It sort of bridges the gap. I think it also sort of answers the question that the advocate posed. And for the lawyers, as to what exactly you do after you're there in 20 to 30 years in practice. So I think this is especially for lawyers, but I think even students can stay back. And we're going to have this session on personal branding for lawyers. I would again